What it do, Panther Nation? Welcome to this special edition of Two Fans in the Stands. I'm your boy Tony,
And I'm CJ.
and today we're going to discuss what is on everybody's mind in Panther Nation, and that is who will be the number one overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Will it be CJ Stroud or Bryce Young? So hopefully by the end of this video, we will all have an idea, and make sure you let us know in the comments who would be your first overall pick if you were selecting. Okay, CJ, how you feeling today, cuz?
Hey man, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to get into this back and forth debate about Bryce
Yeah,
Young and CJ Stroud because
yeah,
they both had really good pro days, and the Panthers had a delegation at both of them. They was I
man.
think 15 deep at
They
both pro days.
they hopped on Air Force One. They came out with the red carpet
Hmm.
and everything, right?
Exactly. Took them to dinner and all that. But for those of you
Yeah.
out there watching, if you didn't see their pro days, we're gonna throw in a few clips of them right now.
So
Mm-hmm.
what I have in mind is everybody is talking about Young CJ Young versus Bryce. I'm sorry, CJ Stroud versus Bryce Young. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle of my excitement right now. So
It's
yeah,
all good.
we talking about Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. And the one thing about football, we always try to pit the quarterbacks against each other. Like they're the only ones on the field. We talk about Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. We talk about Patrick Mahomes versus Joe Burrow, or
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, being compared to Kyler Murray. So we tend to forget that there's 10 other players on the field that with those quarterbacks that makes an 11. But
Mm-hmm.
that's neither here nor there. And in my opinion, in the 2023 NFL draft, there's only two options at the number one overall pick, and that is Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. So, in this special edition, what we're going to do, we're going to take it to the tail of the tape for this heavyweight bout or duo, however you want to word it, you know, between the two. So, CJ, let's go and take it to the tail of the tape.
All right.
So, what we have here in the left corner, we have CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. And in the right corner, we have Bryce Young out of Alabama. So, you see the measurables here. CJ Stroud, 6'3, 214, 26 games played in his collegiate career, 575 completions, 69.3 percentage overall. That's uh, within his career. 8,123 yards, 85 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Now we go over here into the right corner, and with Bryce Young, 5'10 and 1/8. I gave him that 1/8 because I understand it. I understand it. I feel him. That 1/8 is important. Don't leave out no number. I need all of that, right? 5'10" and 1/8, 204 pounds, 34 games played, 624 completions with a completion percentage of 65.8. That's over his 34 game career. 8,356 yards, 80 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. So when you're looking at this, as I am, and I look at it, I'm like, okay, the numbers, games, completion, percentage, yards, TDs, and interceptions, like there's really no difference. Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
main difference is, in my opinion, Bryce Young played 8 more games because CJ didn't suit up at all his freshman year because he was playing behind Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryce Young came in spot duty in like 6 or 7 games his freshman year. That's when Tua Tagovailoa was the quarterback. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the only glaring need, I mean, the only glaring thing that I see, and I'm pretty sure the rest of you see as well, is the difference in height. You're talking about 5 inches in height. It may not seem like a big deal, but it is when you're talking about playing the quarterback position. And I know there's been a lot of talk about the pocket presence,
Mm-hmm.
being a pocket quarterback. They say that Bryce Young is a little bit more mobile. I I understand where they're coming from. I'm not going to say that that's true. And the reason why I say that because CJ Stroud showed you in the Georgia game that he has the ability to move if need be. And I
Yeah.
emphasize need be because
Mm-hmm.
just because you're a pocket passer and you're not running around scrambling a lot or creating plays as they like to say,
Yeah.
that might be for a reason. And I don't think that you have to do that in order to be a complete quarterback. Tom Brady, the best that ever did it, he didn't
Can't run for
scramble around
shit.
to make play. Right. Peyton Manning can't run for shit. Phillip Rivers couldn't run for nothing. I mean, so
Yeah.
there's a time, to do those things if you need to. My thing is, I just want to see them be able to maneuver in the pocket. If you're a pocket passer, not be a statue, but maneuver in the pocket. Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers don't get out and run unless he really, really have to. But what he
Exactly.
can do, what he has mastered, is the movement of the pocket. He knows how to stand back there in the pocket and maneuver to buy a second or two to create a throwing lane and complete the ball. So I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I know right now is the time of the year where these draft gurus and analysts, this is like the nitpicking season. That every little thing about each quarterback you want to tear apart, but you have to ask yourself, does that match what I've seen on tape so far? And in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, it doesn't match what I've seen of CJ Stroud on tape. There's been times before the Georgia game where I've seen CJ Stroud get out the pocket and move a little bit. Now he may not be running a 4.4 or 4.5 like Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson, or maybe even running as fast as Bryce Young. But I have seen him operate outside the pocket. So the whole notion that he can't do it, I think that's just being petty in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as with Bryce Young, my only knock on Bryce Young, and this is my opinion as well, is his height, is his size. And before the combine, he weighed about 185, 190 pounds. He put on about 10 to 15 pounds, came in at the combine, weighed in at 204. That's good. That's great. Can you maintain that? Because
Yeah.
he it's not like he's played at that weight all his life. He put
Mm-hmm.
that weight on just to, in my opinion, quiet the noise at the combine about his size. Can't do nothing
Yeah.
about his height. his height, it is what it is when it comes to his height. But they wanted to know, could he put on weight and operate at that weight? Well, at the combine, we didn't get the chance to see none of that. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
weigh in at the pro day, so we don't know if he dropped weight or if he maintained that weight or whatnot. But again, he's another one, despite all the little things that people want to nitpick about him, say about him, this and that. All you gotta do is just turn on the tape. Just turn
Mm-hmm.
on the tape. The boy is a master in his craft, both of them. So honestly, I would be happy if Carolina select either one of them. That's just my
Yep.
opinion. What's your take on it, CJ? What you think?
I agree. I agree with you. Um, they said that Stroud was less accurate when he was rolling out of the pocket, especially to his left. So they made that a
Yeah,
point in his pro day to try to have him do more throws doing that. And I think
right.
they said out of about 47 or so throws, he had maybe like 5 misses, and most of those were rolling out to his left. But I do think
Okay.
that's something that can be corrected. Um, Bryce Young, and I agree with you on him. Only thing is his height. But as we've all seen, you know, there's no, you want your prototypical quarterback size, but you got Kyler Murray out there who's playing. I mean, and
Right.
he's not a scrub. You had Drew Brees, and even though Drew Brees has about 2 inches on Bryce Young, but
Right.
if his mechanics are right, okay, and he has trained himself to let that ball go at the optimal release point, angle, whatever you have it. You know what I mean? If he has figured it out for his height, then I think it could work.
Yeah.
Like
With
you said,
with
all you
which
gotta do, all you gotta
yeah.
do is look at the tape. Now, mind you, he he plays in the SEC, okay, the top dog of all Power Five conferences in football. So he's
Yeah.
playing against great competition. All right, these
Right.
guys out there are the same height, same weights for the most part. There's a lot of players that he's going to see in the NFL.
Right.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Alabama games, but I watched enough to know I really didn't see, I didn't see him getting his balls batted down a whole lot. Where
No, no, you
because if
didn't.
you if you listen, everybody says the knock is his height. I haven't heard
Right.
anybody come out and say, he's getting 4, 5, and 6 balls batted down a game. You,
Exactly.
you, you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if Frank Wright, Josh McCown, they got a plan for him, I think they'll draft him. He already
If
said he's not gonna let anybody his height be a reason why they won't draft him. Because if you
right.
look at him, I mean, the man's an assassin out there. I mean, he he
Yes.
he picks defenses apart. Okay,
Yes, he
and
does.
CJ Stroud too. And like you said, I
Yes.
would be happy with either one of them. I
Either
just
one
hope
of
that
them.
whichever one they bring in, they have a plan, they execute that plan, and we go out and win some games. That's all I want.
I'm gonna tell you my only hesitancy, my only reason why I am so hesitant on Bryce Young is not his height. It's just that he's just small in stature. Period.
Yeah,
And we have to
he
be
gonna get popped.
mindful. Yeah, we have to be mindful. Yes, he didn't suffer any major injuries at while he was at Alabama, but neither did Tua Tagovailoa. Not not
True.
not as far as somebody just smashing him or causing a concussion or something like that. Now he
Yeah,
did have that one injury where he got ran down from behind and where they tackled him and came down with their weight. But
yeah.
when you talk about someone, almost similar in size and stature, look at all look at all that Tua has gone through in his 2-3 years in Miami. That has to give people pause when you talking about dealing with someone's stature of Bryce
Mm-hmm.
Young. To me, that's my only hiccup. So
Yeah.
when injuries like that happen, now you're talking about missing games, possibly the season. depending on what type of injury it is. Now, I'm not wishing that he get injured by any means, but this
Yeah,
is the NFL, and we know those type of things do happen. We know we're not gonna be turn a blind eye and act like it don't exist. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
But
And
hold on, but
so
not to cut you off, but cut you off. But what I would say about Tua is though, when that first hit that he took when he got that first concussion last season,
right,
how often do you see players, get hit and how he fell and his head bounced off the ground like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's true.
So I'm not going to necessarily say it was just a freak accident because I mean it has happened before. But
Right,
what they did wrong with too, I think they rushed him back. I think they listened to
exactly,
him a lot more than they listened to
a
everybody else,
hundred and ten
around
percent,
him, as far as
a
the
hundred and
doctors
ten
and the training
percent.
staff and stuff. He was like, oh no, I'm good. And then he went out there and got his bell rung again, and here we are,
Yeah, they did. They
But
did him a
yeah,
major disservice. They did him a major
yeah.
disservice.
'Cause-
Yeah,
And now, after that, and now everybody's looking at him injury prone. And then, like you just brought it up, you compare, him to Tua in a sense. But, like I said, I think that first play that where he got that first concussion, it's just like that was one of them. It's just like, damn, he did everything. No, I'm sorry, he didn't do, but everything happened in that tackle, you know, out of his control. You,
right,
you get
right.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
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 everything that could have happened to lead to him, falling the way he did happen. Like nothing went in his favor in that tackle. Like he couldn't get
right,
his hands down, no nothing. But
right.
but I'm sorry. That's my little 2 cents I wanted to inject in there.
No, no
Continue,
problem, no
sir.
problem. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna move on to the next tail of the tape, and we're gonna talk about each player's strength. So again, in the left corner, CJ Stroud doesn't hesitate to attack with his throws, has the arm strength to air out the deep ball toward the sideline with accuracy, showed willingness to extend and make plays outside the pocket against Georgia, which he did, finds his way back to platform throws when forced to move his feet, enough arm talent to pump, reset, and then release. The most naturally accurate top tier quarterback in the 2023 draft class. I think that is spot on. Puts it on frame, allowing receivers to catch and stride and keep rolling. Like that to me is like probably the most important thing. When you watch him throw the ball, it just seems so effortlessly and natural. And he
Mm-hmm.
always put it in the position to where the receiver can catch and run. And everybody knows how important that yak is, that yards after catch. When you can put it on a receiver or a running back or a tight end in stride, man, that's a beautiful thing to see.
Makes all the
That's a
difference.
beautiful thing to see. Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go to the right side of the corner and we're gonna talk about Bryce Young's strengths. Calm demeanor on the field. Played in a pro style attack that required full field reads, which is very important because Alabama does run a pro style quarterbacks. So if anything, I think he would have a slight edge over CJ when it comes to that because I'm not quite sure what kind of offense Ryan Day runs at Ohio State, but Nick Saban runs that pro style offense. Shows ability to dial up focus in big fourth quarter situations. Use eye manipulation to create easier throws. Locates and avoids lurking trouble in zone coverage. Good operation time with the compact release as a thrower. He has a very compact release and quick with it too. I was watching it at the pro day, and it was almost like how can I describe it? It almost like he was throwing it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is so compact, but he quick with it and precise with it. So
Yeah.
I can definitely agree with that. Unfazed by incoming rush and makes ball delivery his priority. Good rush awareness and pocket mobility. Actively reroutes his receivers when play extends and make defenses pay when he breaks contain and improvises. Now that he does do. He does do
Mm-hmm.
he is like on the collegiate level. Let me be
Yeah.
clear about that. On the collegiate level, he showed a mastery of creating plays outside the pocket. He can square his shoulders up easily and deliver a strike. I mean, it comes out like pew. That's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Pew.
Yeah. And one other thing about him too, I seen this clip from the Tennessee game, and they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about how, they have him back there making protection shifts and changes pre-snap,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
something that a lot of college quarterbacks don't really get the chance to do. But
No.
there was a blitz coming, so he saw it. He shifted his protection to his left, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
then when the play started, he immediately looked right because he knew his offensive line had him covered to the left side. So he knew if that linebacker came, that was his responsibility. So on the
Right.
play, when the play started, that linebacker didn't come, somebody else came. But he waited just long enough for his receiver to get open. He stood in the pocket, he took a shot, but he delivered that ball. Okay.
Right.
But like I
Right.
said, pre-snap, he knew, okay, it's coming from the left, shifted his offensive line. Now, this over here, this is my responsibility. I got to make this happen. And he had enough trust in
Right.
his offensive line to know, all right, I'm good on this side. This is what I got to worry about over here. And he made the play. So yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely a student of the game, and he makes good decisions.
So like I said, this is the time of season where every little thing will be nitpicked. Where you talk about
Mm-hmm.
their strengths or whether you talking about their weaknesses. Like when you look at these comments about each player, it's like everything, like nothing is the same really, right?
Mm-mm.
But then, I think it really comes down to, do you feel like this is the player, or do you have the conviction that either one of these players is the quarterback for you and your franchise for the foreseeable future? That's
Yeah.
that's the decision that Frank Wright, Scott Federer, David and Nicole Tepper, and their whole contingent is going to have to wrestle with over these next 35, 40 days. And
Mm-hmm.
I know they in Kentucky for Will Levis pro day, but I just think, in my opinion, that's just for show. You
Mm-hmm.
you have to show, and I think on the
Mm-hmm.
30th of this month, next week, they're going to be down in Gainesville for Anthony Richardson, pro day. So, but I mean, like we said before, neither one of them. I don't believe we can go wrong with either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, again, let us know in the comments what you think. Who's your pick? Who would you like to
Okay.
see the Panthers take with the first overall pick in the draft? So we just got to talking about their strengths. So now we're going to go on to the weaknesses. And in the left corner, again, CJ Stroud, hesitance to use his leg can put a cap on his success rate. I don't know what the hell that means, but that's what they said. Labors to get square to target when rolling out. Needs a clearer scan for potential pressure points near the line of scrimmage. Needs to play with better recognition and respect for safeties. Inconsistent activating lower body torque on drive throws. Again, I don't know how you get that out of a live video when someone's throwing the ball and you can tell if they're activating their lower torque. But
Sound
I
like a shade tree
digress.
mechanic wrote that.
Right. Right. Interceptions arise when he refuses to come off primary receiver. All right, so now we're going to get into the weaknesses of Bryce Young. His durability will be a concern due to his slight frame. We know we spoke about that a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
He has a tendency to run receivers up against the boundary, which he does. If you just go back and watch his pro day on 10-yard or 12-yard out routes, by the time the receivers will catch the ball and try to turn upfield, they're out of bounds. So I
Mm-hmm.
can believe that. Leaves his lower half behind on drive throws at times. needs to prove he can find reads quickly and stay on schedule. Now, to me, that's that's contradicting what one of his strengths are as far as extending plays, getting out the pocket, and
Mm-hmm.
being able to find the receiver or the open receiver, whether it's downfield or coming across the middle. So that
Okay.
one, I don't believe that. Deep throws come out flat and lose energy. I do believe that. I have seen that. Doesn't run as often as he could to counter the rush and pick up first downs. So, like I said, I know I've said this once or twice already about it being nitpicking season or whatever. We can always look at the strengths and the weaknesses of each player and just pull it apart. But at the end of the day, is it enough to cause you not to select either one of these quarterbacks that hopefully that you fall in love with? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we talked about their strength, we talked about their weaknesses. You saw the measurements as far as their height and weight and whatnot. So after seeing all that, we're going to ask you guys again to make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know who would you take and let us know why. And we would definitely get back with you guys and chop it up with you. And hopefully you guys feel like I feel.
Yeah. Hey,
So CJ, what's your final thoughts, man? What's your take on each one of these quarterbacks?
I like both of them. Okay.
Okay.
And the quote unquote weaknesses of both of them are things that I do believe with good coaching, which I think we have, if they
Right.
pick either one of them, they can overcome it. So
Right.
I will be happy with either one. Okay. Either one.
Okay.
The only thing that would piss me off in this situation is for some weird reason they didn't take one of these two.
I
That's
don't
it.
man, listen, I don't even want to talk about what I
No,
may
we
do.
not we not.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
throwing it out there so
Yeah.
everybody know that would be the only thing that would piss me off about this whole situation right here. The only thing.
Boy, we're not going to even speak. I'm not going to speak that into existence. All
There you
right.
go.
All right. So anything you got before we get out of here?
No, that's it. Like, subscribe, hit that post notification bell, and we thank you for the support.
All right. Thank you for watching Two Fans in the Stands special edition of Tale of the Tape. Don't forget to comment below and tell us what you think who should be the number one overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. We look forward to hearing from you. And until then, Panther Nation, keep pounding.